Today we have Karl Lewis here with us. He is the pastor of Foundation for Life Family Church in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. He's traveled for many years to many different nations. He's an author as well, conference speaker, but he's also a personal friend to Sabina and I. We're so glad to have you, Karl, on the Plumbline.
Well, it's fantastic to be with you both again. Thanks for having me.
I am energized here. There's an anticipation and an excitement here.
Yeah.
And you've come with something in your spirit. God gave you a word. Concerning this season right now. This is 2008, a new year that's just begun, and people are asking questions about what God is saying, but what has He put in your heart?
Well, on January 5th, I was getting ready it was a Saturday evening, and getting ready for the service the next day, and of course, you prepared ahead of time several days before, and I thought I was going to share along a certain line, but I just wait on the Lord and say, Lord, what are you saying? What do you have for the people? What do you want to say? Then all of a sudden, this wasn't premeditated, it wasn't something I studied for. I heard these words, it's promotion time. So it just stopped me in my track when God said, it's promotion time. And what the Lord said to me is that there's many people who have been diligent, they've been faithful, even last year. And some people, it's been slow though for some people. Some things have been quiet. Some people are wondering, what's going on? What's wrong with me? Why are things not maybe ahead or further ahead than I thought? But the Lord reminded me and said, you know what? He has been watching. And this year is promotion time. So the very next day, you know what I preached.
Promotion.
I didn't teach it. I just proclaimed it. Lord said, proclaim to them, declare to them that it's promotion time. And I want to say that to your viewing audience, that this 2008, I'm declaring by the Spirit of God that it is promotion time. Right. It's not something I made up or dreamed up or thought up. It's something the Spirit of God has said that it is promotion time. And when we say promotion, we talk that it is a time for significant increase, a raise, a promotion, a change in status, a change in circumstances. It is something that is natural and tangible and physical that can be seen. And so we're in that time frame. This year is a year of promotion. And the scripture says in Psalm 75 that promotion doesn't come, Faisal, from the east or from the west or from the south. It comes from God, who is the judge, who sets down, we'll talk about that a little later, and He sets up. So promotion, this is the time of promotion. And what He went on to show me is this, and this is what really blessed me. He showed me that in an instant, there were people who He changed their entire status in a moment.
Right.
People who were in one level, one moment, overnight were changed, like in an instant, in a moment. Exactly. That was my first example. I mean, imagine Joseph, one moment is in prison. The next moment, prime minister.
Yeah. Wow.
2 years he was forgotten after the butler said, oh yes, I'm going to remember you when I get my reinstated. Bible says he forgot him. 2 years later, Pharaoh has a dream, and he has an answer from Joseph, who was promoted.
When you're saying this is what I'm hearing here is that when man forgets about you, God will remember you.
Yeah,
that's it.
When man has forgotten about you, many of you, man has forgotten about you, and they've written your name off their list. You're not even on their Christmas list, so to speak, okay? But God will remember you.
That's it.
And when man is actually in the place of crisis and the man is dying, it's the human nature to leave man in a tomb.
That's right.
Or actually find a tomb to bury you in if they're very kind. But you see, God remembers the tomb you're buried in so He can raise you up. And I think that's what you're saying is there are people out there that have been in the wilderness, that have been in a cave, that have been in prison like Joseph, that the Spirit of God's going to come upon them and He's going to sovereignly begin to move them and shift them into a place of promotion because the hand of the Lord's going to come upon them.
Now you said it, the hand of God. And that was another thing He said. See, the hand of God is coming in circumstance, in situations, in people, and really doing only what God could do. Let me say another thing, what He was showing to me, is that if you look at last year, many people have looked at last year, 2007, 2006, 2005, and when they looked ahead and made plans, they were making plans for 2008, their plans weren't too big for this reason. Not much happened in their mind the last several years.
Okay.
Right.
No.
Do you follow what I'm saying? So we're prone to make projections based on the past. But what God is saying, listen, because my hand is on you and because it is promotion time, you need to make plans with God's power, with God's hand in mind, with the promotion in mind. So let's go back to the example. Joseph, 1 minute in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Next moment, by the power of God, promoted to prime minister. Moses, 1 moment, a shepherd. Knew he was called and destined to be the leader of the nation of Israel. Seemingly a dream had died, but he knew it was God. He knew it. 1 moment, taking care of his father-in-law's sheep. The next moment, meets God at the burning bush, and he's made the nation's leader to lead them out of bondage.
And it's so very interesting you bring up that example, because prophetically, the church has been in a wilderness season. And so what you're doing is you're coming here and making an announcement.
That's it.
And the announcement is, you know what, it's a season of promotion. In other words, it's a season to move from the wilderness, and, you know, especially those that have been faithful and you said diligent to pass their tests in the wilderness, it's time for God to bring you out and bring you into a place of promotion or prominence.
That's it.
So you can walk in the thing that he promises. So it's also discerning a season, Karl, isn't it?
That's right.
We have to discern the season that the Lord is saying. And if you're trying to look for that thing in the previous season, it didn't come not because there's something wrong with you. It didn't come because it wasn't the time. And that's what you're saying.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And Mordecai. Let's look at another example. I thought of Mordecai. The Lord just gave me like 10 to 15 examples of people just all of a sudden. Where
we won't slow you down.
In
you just keep going.
instant, like in a moment. I won't give all of them, but I mean, in a moment, it was just showed me how, with God in there, with God's hand in this season, showing us. But oftentimes we make plans just strictly according to the natural.
Yeah.
And he wants to get the church out of that mindset and realizing that he's a God of power, that he's the one we serve. It's his hand coming on men to raise them up. Like you said, he'll raise people up who men completely don't even know, wouldn't even consider. His hand is coming on them. Mordecai, 1 moment, derailed, put down by Haman, plotted upon, hated. And yet, imagine now, King Ahasuerus goes to sleep, but can't sleep. And he says to one of his chronicles, bring me the book and read it. Now, he just happens to read the story of when Bigthan and his accomplice tried to assassinate him. And he says, now, the king says, well, was anything done for the man who did this? Who did it anyway? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Mordecai. Well, what was done for this man? The guy says, well, nothing was done, king. Nothing. Well, then he brings in Haman. He says, Haman, what should be done to the man who saved my life?
Yeah.
Of course, Haman, thinking it was him, says, well, he should drive the king's horse. Thinking of cars now. Wear the king's clothing, wear the king's rings. Be bestowed upon with many riches, and be paraded through the entire city for all to see this great man. And what does the king say? Now listen to this. This is what some of the enemies of some of you watching, this is what's going to happen this year.
Right.
The very enemies of some people this year are going to see what they were expecting to happen to them happen to you.
Yeah, wow.
Like there's going to be a turning of the tables. Remember what Haman did? See?
Oh my goodness.
So Haman had to do. King says now, let everything you say be done. Don't let one thing fail.